back to Blackout, House of Bob's cyberpunk adventure set in the VanTle Megaplex and powered by the Sprawl RPG system.
Hi, I'm Cristina, and I'm playing Olivia Crow, once a test subject for the R&D sector of MassCorp, now a low-level runner for the Gastown Sparks.
Hey, I'm Shaun, and I'm playing Cass, the ex-skip tracer fighting to pay his debts and settle old scores.
Hi, I'm Shubert. I'll be playing Bunk, the beat hacker.
I'm Dan. I'll be playing Tiz, the hard-nosed reporter, tracking down corruption no matter the cost.
And I'm Jake, your GM. If you want to support the show, check us out on Patreon, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, or just tell your friends about us. Roll on. All right, so last time, you guys began your infiltration of the VanTle Harbour. It was mostly going pretty well, actually, until Bunk, while trying to sneak into the security tower, until Bunk, period.
So Bunk was born.
Thanks a lot.
Until Bunk, while trying to sneak into the security tower, came across an avid bunkhead. So you're in the control room of the security tower. There's all the cameras and controls and communications equipment in here, but there were also 2 workers, and they spotted you as you came in, and one of them recognizes you, and you recognize him as a fan of your work. He's been at several of your shows, and he narrows his eyes and goes, "Bunk?"
No, man, it's Microwave, and I wink. I'm the maintenance guy.
He audibly goes, why don't you roll fast talk, which is style?
He will be my biggest bro in the entire world if he just does me the solid and doesn't blow up my spot here. I will get him free tickets to every Bunk show.
Is that all that's in that wink? You're like, free tickets, backstage passes.
It's a Morse code wink, yeah.
my eyes just twitching out.
In Morse code.
Yeah. Access to the green room.
Bunk Buddy special edition.
So 10.
On a 10 plus, NPCs do what you want. He has a very confused expression on his face, but he goes, oh, yeah, there was some maintenance that was going to get...
Yeah,
is that right? Yeah?
There was an update.
An update. Oh, yeah, an update.
To the SIS.
Yeah. And he...
To the SIS.
To the SIS. And he...
Bunkheads are all about a breathing stuff. You know?
For sure. And he stands up out of his swirly chair, steps back a few spaces, kind of motions at the computer, still with a super confused expression. The other guy stays in his chair, gives you a one eyebrow up, side eye. He steps back, but he pulls out his phone too, and he's just starting to type on it.
Oh, no.
So this is actually a result of the failure last session. I increased the action clock by 1. You did, however, get a XP for triggering one of your directives, which was illustrious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the good news.
The only good news is I gained some experience.
Yep.
As this guy pulls out his phone, can I grab it really quickly and just be like, hey, can I actually see that for a sec?
Take a selfie.
You could certainly try. I think that's probably act under pressure to do that fast enough for it to matter.
I only rolled a 6, so that's a fail.
Sounds about right.
He jumps back and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And
yo, man, I just wanted to take a selfie.
You see his hand come down on a big red button.
Oh, no.
God damn it, Bunk.
Oh, man. This was not part of the plan.
So I'm going to raise the action clock again. It's at 22 now. So a couple things happen. Cass and Tiss are in the crane overlooking the berth, and you see that there's a radio in here that they use to communicate between the different towers, and you hear a kind of staticky voice go, everybody check your schedules. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a change. And let's pop over to Olivia.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm just walking my way towards the parking lot like any normal person would do.
You're walking towards the parking lot where there's quite a few vehicles parked, the ones that are not currently in use. You do see there's a scattering of people about doing their work. At the same time that Cass and Tiss received that message, you see a lot of them kind of stop and, check their phones, or they put their hand over their ear for a second as if they're receiving a message. And a lot of people start to actually kind of scatter in different directions.
Yeah. I also put my hand by my ear and I start nodding.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I start walking to a vehicle because that's exactly where they told me to go.
You get pretty close to the truck when...
Why does something bad happen to me?
Was that a leading statement? You start to hear from your implant static. It starts out very quiet and it grows in intensity until eventually it's loud enough that it's painful. Everybody else begins to hear this as well, the three of you. Does anybody have encrypted on their comms?
Bunk has encrypted tag on his neural interface. Encrypted and high speed.
I do have encrypted circled for my neural interface.
Sure. So Cass and Tiss, without encrypted, begin to hear this static and it grows and grows and your ability to send communications is jammed.
Yeah.
Bunk, you hear this static, but you can work around it. Olivia, you feel the encryption start to try to work against this jamming, but your neural interface is owned by Masscorp.
Oh no.
And it just immediately shuts down.
Oh, what happens to me? I don't think that's ever happened to Olivia before.
Your vision is, at least at first, it's a little blurry. You can't hear very well. Your senses are not working the way they're supposed to as your brain tries to compensate for the sudden lack of information compared to what you usually get. For the meantime, any of your guys' cyberware is offline.
Right. Do I see anyone around? Because everybody kind of scattered. I'm wondering if anybody sees me reacting to my pain.
No, you think for that moment it takes you to recover your composure, you're fine.
Okay. I'm going to head to the closest vehicle and just try opening the door. I assume because these are work vehicles that are unlocked, but who knows?
Why don't you roll assess?
7.
You spot as they spot you. It seems to just be luck that you even spotted them, but there were two figures that were moving in between the vehicles. They have a sort of, well, you actually saw Garrett with it, that sort of camo suit that blends in, the colors change to blend in with the surrounding.
That,
yeah, you've recognized, you've seen this technology before, which is maybe why you were able to spot it, whereas someone else might not have. Other than just the outline of this figure, though, you can't see much about them, but you see them heading towards you.
Oh, so the door is unlocked now, though.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to get in and I'm going to fucking take this car and just like drive it into the dock area, the berthing area.
Okay.
I'm keeping on the plan, damn it. And I hope I can outdrive these guys, basically.
Yeah, the vehicle is unlocked. It's ready to go for quick access for employees. You fire the ignition, and you see from where those two figures were standing, 2 bolts of blue energy that connect with the vehicle.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
I mean, again, all your tools are being used against you. You recognize this from Bunk's gun. It's some kind of EMP blast. It's probably act under pressure again to see if you got enough distance.
It's a 6 on that.
Oh, no.
You start to drive off, but these 2 bolts of blue energy connect with the back of the truck, and the energy moves back and forth throughout the vehicle, and it just shudders and stops dead. And you see a blurry figure standing by the door of the vehicle.
Okay. I'm going to swing the door open as hard as I can on this person.
Okay, what's your objective?
Make them lose position, basically, so I can keep going.
Stun and knock them back, maybe?
Yeah.
So why don't you roll meat then?
That's a 6. Olivia's not going to do well.
You feel a strong impact as whatever this figure is has hit you with some kind of blunt object. You can't see exactly what it is. It is 2 harm, though. And roll the harm move plus 1, then.
4.
That's when you wanted to roll.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, finally, that came in handy.
So no further effects.
From behind this blurry figure, Cass appears. I'm going to pass my hold over.
Tiz looks around confused. And then he sees a line that's beating straight down.
You flashback to Tiz and Cass up in the crane cockpit or whatever. Having heard that radio call, Cass looks at Tiz and says, things are not going according to plan.
Go get Olivia.
Puts his hand to his ear, activates his cyber comms. Esmeralda, come in. Do you hear? Do you copy? She's not responding, Tiz.
Oh my God.
And Cass runs out of the crane.
Yeah, you just get this staticky feedback when you try to use the comms to communicate with her. Cass appears from behind one of the vehicles and
shoots this guy in the back.
Cool. Roll me.
That would be a 7.
You achieve your objective, but you still have to choose 2 consequences on a 7 to 9. You make too much noise, advance the relevant mission clock. You take harm as established by the fiction, an ally takes harm as established by the fiction, or something of value breaks.
I think it makes sense that I get hit, probably.
You said that there was one of these guys or 2 of these guys?
2. You don't know where the second one is right now, though.
Okay, so I think that might be like how I take harm, maybe.
Yeah.
I appear, I shoot this guy a couple times in the back. Maybe one of the bullets like rips through and hits Olivia a little bit. And then this other guy like appears and stun batons me or something.
Yeah. Yep.
So I take harm and Olivia takes harm.
Sure. What's the harm of your weapon?
Heavy pistol, 3 harm.
Okay.
Oh.
Ouch.
And it's close, near, and loud.
Yep.
Oh my god. I take 1, I think, and it's slowed through this guy's body, hopefully.
You take a couple shots in the back of this guy who's completely unexpected, and he collapses forward. As he hits the ground, you see the optical illusion that he was wearing breaks, and you see someone dressed in tactical gear. You don't see, until it's too late, the second guy.
Yeah.
Who gets you in the back with a stun baton, which is 2 harm minus your armor.
So I take 1.
And you roll the harm move, normally +2, but -1 in this case. And Olivia, you took another one already.
Yeah, we
and
put
roll
it
the
on
harm
there.
again, please.
Hey. 7 then for Olivia.
Cass got an 8 on his harm.
Okay. The MC will choose one on a 7 to 9. You lose your footing, you lose your grip whenever you're holding, you lose track of someone or something, or someone gets the drop on you.
I think it makes sense that we lose track of that second guy.
Yeah, I feel like he was not expecting a fair fight. So in that moment of confusion, he ducks off in between the lines of vehicles, and again, he's hard to follow with this kind of blurry optical camouflage, and he disappears from sight.
Of course.
Leaving you guys to regroup.
I'm holding my side.
Cass runs over. Olivia and him both tucked up against the vehicle, looking up through the windshield. He's like,
let's go.
Searching around with his gun and looks for a clear exit, and then they run off between a couple other cargo containers.
Let's let that sink in for a bit, and we'll go back to Bunk. So Bunk, you saw the other security guy hit the alarm. You felt your neural interface begin to shut down. And in fact, it's damaging neural interface, so I'm going to give you 1 harm. You don't have to roll for it, but it begins to kind of spark and get hot, and you feel this burning on the inside of your head briefly. The bunkhead that you had initially convinced, who you remember is named Safe, you've met him a couple times after shows, he drops all pretense and goes, Bunk, what is going on? What is this? He looks to his colleague and he's like, just calm down for a second. Let's figure out what's going on.
You're going to have to kill Safe.
All that winking was for nothing.
Yeah.
This is when you introduce Safe to the Bunk Buddies, which is like actually your cabal of cultists.
Are you ready?
Got really dark.
The anti-establishment cults that is going to bring everybody down from the inside.
And his initiation is he has to kill his partner.
It's basically It's basically Fight Club.
Jeez. I don't think I'm going to go down that path, you guys. Can Bunk get a sense of Safe's willingness to help me out?
Yeah.
You said he was an avid fan.
Mm-hmm.
How avid?
How avid? Is he willing to die for you? Yeah.
Let's just see if he's willing to
Turncoat.
Somewhere
jumps in front of the bullets. Yeah.
Is he willing to, I don't know, help me
Lose his job?
Yeah, is he willing to lose his job? That would be a good question.
Sure. I think you should roll assess.
10.
So that's 3 hold. Let's interpret who or what is in control here to answer your question there. He's definitely willing to go to bat for you.
Yeah.
As soon as things get hairy to the point of violence, you don't think he would go that far, but he's at least willing to vouch for you. He knows that a lot of your content is kind of anti-corp, right? So he knows you're probably here for a reason that he might be able to get behind.
Right.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. All right.
And then you do have 2 other questions if you want to use them now or save them.
About how you could deactivate the alarm.
Yeah, what else do you see in the room?
My whole goal of coming in here was to shut down the comms system.
Some comm systems went shut down.
Yeah. I still think it would be a good idea if I could shut down the security team's comms situation.
It's essential for us now. They're not that you would know
Exactly. Where can Bunk gain the most advantage in this little room with these dudes.
2 people.
I think you notice that actually the other guard, the non-bunk head, you notice that he actually takes a step back, and for a moment he just kind of puts his hand to the side of his head, and you get the idea that he's actually being affected by whatever this jamming is too. That right now his senses are off. He's taking a moment to recuperate from whatever is hitting him. Safe doesn't seem to be affected though.
So you're telling me this would be a good time to just run at him and try to do something.
Did you end up buying a weapon? Or?
No, I have no weapon.
He still has the gear card, though, do you know?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
But you also know the other guy won't assist in violence.
He won't assist me in violence, but maybe if I do the violence, he at least won't say anything.
You feel like he might be willing to turn a blind eye.
He doesn't like his partner.
All right. So
I think we've established nobody likes each other here.
Apparently not.
So I noticed this employee having some trouble with his neural interface. Yeah. I reach into my pocket for a taser.
Okay.
Give you a gear card.
Sure. Now, was this a 3D printing gear card?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's less of like a taser gun and more of like a one-time use taser.
It's a slap bracelet.
A taselet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to bring back taselet?
They were very helpful.
Either that or you like duct taped a bunch of 9 volts together and you
Put it with 2 copper
and
wires.
then you put it in a sock.
yeah.
And you're like, I 3D printed this.
Yeah, I think it's kind of more like that.
It's very MacGyvered, I think.
Yeah.
Pulls out a rock.
Yeah, so you charge at him, you pull out this little device that has a like little power source with a bunch of wires sticking out of it, basically.
I'm like, I really hope this works.
The good news is you get a +1 on your roll because you're acting on your result of assess. So roll meet and add a +1.
All right, I rolled a 9.
You succeed, but you do choose 2. You make too much noise, we advance the clock, you take harm, an ally takes harm, something of value breaks.
You gotta do the last 2. Your bunkhead's gotta get hurt.
No.
Oh, no.
I'd be willing to take harm here, though. Either that or advance the clock.
No.
You only have 2 more hours on the clock.
Yeah, we can't advance it right now. I'd rather die.
I mean, you might.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll take some harm. While I charge in at this guy, he does some fighting back.
Yeah. He sees you coming and like he is a security guy, so he's at least a little prepared for this. He kind of gets into like a tackle position and he's ready for you, and he gets a good shoulder right in you. So it's just 1 harm, which is the good news.
Mm-hmm.
But you will roll the harm move,
okay.
And you hit him with this taser, and the shocks of electricity run through his body, and he falls to the ground. But you still have to choose one other thing too.
Oh no! I rolled really high for my harm.
Cool.
+1.
Yeah, so 12.
So you get to choose one. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. You take the full harm of the attack before it was reduced, or if you already took full harm, which you did, you would take extra harm.
Oh no.
You lose the use of a piece of cyberware until you can get it repaired. You can't pick the one that's already broken. Or lose a body part.
Oh my god.
This guy just like pushed his thumb through your eye.
Jesus.
I was going to go with like pinky, but
Yeah.
He might have also had a knife on him. Not completely unheard of.
body
Sorry,
part.
was one of the options just taking a bunch more?
Yeah.
I'm taking that no matter what.
Okay. So you're taking an additional harm.
Yeah.
And you still need to choose a second result from your first failure.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh, right, because we already chose 1, which was I take harm.
And the result of that harm was
That I take extra.
take it.
Brutal.
Yay!
That should count for 2.
It's bad.
I've already suffered enough.
Nah.
Nah. I make too much noise.
Nice. Okay.
What? You're putting the clock up?
Yeah.
Mission is about to fail. Instead of breaking something of value.
I will give you one other option, which is I could increase a corporate clock by 1 instead.
Yeah, which one would make sense?
Masscorp or Quickbox.
Let's put the Masscorp clock up by 1. After this guy is tased and laying on the floor, I'd like to kind of tie him up. I assume they're security guys, so they have some like
Zip ties.
some zip ties.
The safe has some zap straps on him.
Sweet.
Yep.
I zap strap him up. I'm like, safe. I'm sorry I had to do that.
It's I really hope you know what you're doing, because it doesn't seem like it.
I mean, you know that song where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out.
I used to really like that song.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure.
Me too. I'm like, dude, after this is over, I'm legit writing a beat about you.
He shuts down the comms for the VTC security here. He's like, I really, really hope you know what you're doing. One thing you do notice after that is that your cyberware is still acting up despite that. So it's not related to VTC's equipment there.
Okay.
Hey all, hope you're enjoying the show so far. We've got to interrupt real quick with a brief message from our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Nature Bin, the new subscription service from Tranquility Resorts. Each month you'll receive a carefully curated, locally sourced piece of Mother Earth from a Tranquility Nature Preserve. Diligently protected by the park rangers, these preserves contain the largest collections of non-altered flora on the planet. And with Nature Bin, you can finally experience classics such as ryegrass, maple leaves, heather, and more without leaving your apartment. Last month I got a pine cone. For a limited time, use promo code HOBAIR to receive a bonus vial of fresh air from the peak of Whistler Mountain. To opt out of subscribing, don't hit the not interested and not subscribing button on your pad now. Thanks, Nature Bin. Let's return to the episode in progress. Tis.
Yes.
A lot happened.
It did. I imagine I could see Olivia, with the van, probably in that situation.
Yeah, you were up in the crane, so you had a good vantage point.
And I have my
see what
magnifying glasses.
Yeah, totally.
All right. I'm going to try to stick to the plan as much as I can, so I'm going to start operating the crane.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt to pick up the box that we want. I don't know if it's underneath boxes, but I'm attempting to get to
I guess I have a question. Has the
ship come in?
Yeah.
Well, we'll say it has.
Okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, this would be awkward.
I was like, wait.
You said the other one pulled out and we were kind of waiting.
Yeah. That was the whole point of your prep work, is that you timed this out. So.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I think it would either be assess to kind of locate the right box.
Over 10.
So with the information that you got from the contact and Cass's experience with some of these things, you're able to locate the right box that you want. You start operating the crane, which you quickly figure out how to use on the fly. You pop the crane down and grab this crate. I think there's probably going to be a reaction to that.
Someone working out of line.
Yeah, you hear from the radio a message from one of the other cranes. Hey, didn't you get the new schedule? We're not supposed to grab that yet. What are you doing?
My schedule says to keep going.
Well, your schedule's wrong. The transit for that box has changed. Can you stop now?
Where's it going now?
He says, check your schedule?
It says to drop it over here. I'm following my schedule, dude. You follow yours.
Why don't you do fast talk then, I suppose?
That's fair.
Uh-oh.
6. Here you go. And I lose my card.
You hear the clanking of metal on metal, and you peek down and you see that someone's climbing the ladder up to the crane.
Security or a worker?
Security. And I'm going to increase the action clock by 1, which puts it at 23.
All right. And I'm going to shoot that guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
So...
Well, first off, I'm not dressed like a crane operator.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Do you have to shoot him?
You could have an accident.
This is where the olive oil would come in.
Yeah. Why didn't you just make the ladder bars slippery?
Yeah. All right. I pull out my gear card. Mustard.
What condiment do you drop on it?
Roll mix it up if you're shooting them.
Actually, what kind of stuff is in here? Is there anything like a big blunt object or something?
I suppose if you wanted that, yeah.
There's like
a
wrench
toolbox.
Yeah, there's a toolbox.
I mean, that would kill him too. What's the difference between that and shooting him?
One's loud and one is him falling.
Yeah, toolbox might be slightly quieter.
Oh, just hit him with the toolbox. That's smart.
Just drop that.
Okay. I hurl the toolbox down.
Neat.
Yeah.
And
Oh, nice.
Perfect.
Plunk.
You drop the toolbox and like it opens as it's falling, and some of the tools scatter and hit the rungs of the ladder, and it makes a real clatter. But,
damn it! I got a 10, Jake.
It doesn't matter at this point. They all know that this is happening.
Probably still about as loud as a gun.
Yeah.
With a really kind of unsettling crunch, the toolbox connects with the top of this guy's head, and he falls to the ground, and you don't see him moving.
Poor Stanley.
Stanley.
I didn't think that through very well. Yeah.
That's fine.
But the good news is that should give you enough time to grab the box that you want. You still need some kind of truck or something, though. So let's go back to Cass and Olivia.
How hurt are you right now?
I'm only at 2.
Oh, okay. So no biggie then.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, it seemed like they were just using stun weapons. Now that one of them is dead, you feel like that might change. But
I think I'm going to use the intel. I heard some quick box, gossip, that they do have like an auxiliary. If one breaks down, they have a truck, like always 2 trucks on hand. So I do know where the second truck is.
Well, you just picked one up from the parking lot. So
No,
yeah,
that
probably
one's
plenty.
done, yeah.
oh, there's definitely other trucks.
But I mean, like this one is like by the docks. Each berth has one because like if the cranes break down, then
Like
they can just use
maybe
it.
we didn't want to take this one earlier because it was too obvious.
Well, and
Now
people
it's
were
like-
there.
Yeah.
These are in lieu of if the cranes break down, they can still transfer them just to these cars.
Oh, okay, sure. So a bigger truck that could actually take the whole container.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Sure. More conspicuous, but at this point, that's fine.
Yeah, we're pretty conspicuous.
Sure. You know where to find this truck and how to access it.
Yep.
There is still the matter of, that second opto camouflage guy is still out there somewhere.
Yeah.
What's your strategy to get there without getting hit by him?
I wonder if there's kind of a way to I don't know if I can stop us from getting hit by him, but at the very least make him more visible.
Yeah.
And then run him over. That's my plan anyway.
I almost want to be like, I have a can of spray paint or something like that.
I might have a can of spray paint.
We all have a can of spray paint.
Not a competition.
I'm just saying that sounds like something I might actually have.
Or like bear spray or a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I was
That's
actually
something with like a big spray, right?
Yeah, I was literally thinking like a pepper spray or something like that. Like we wouldn't see him, but maybe it would affect him.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I do have 2 flashbangs, like actually have them in my gear.
Okay. That
so
might
we
be
could
helpful.
blind him if we think he's nearby. So maybe we're like running towards a semi truck, and before we like go through the like clear area underneath the crane, we stop beside this shipping container and we both listen for his footsteps. If we can hear where he's coming from, I can throw the flashbang, and then we like duck our heads and then run for it.
Jump in the car.
Yeah.
I think that's probably Edge or Sess.
Yeah, we'll like stop at the shipping container. I'll pull out one of Bunk's like noisemakers
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
and toss that ahead of us.
I scattered just a bunch behind us, actually.
Yeah, there should be plenty around at
They're
this
like
point.
bleep, 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 making a bunch of noise.
I mean, even if he just crunches one, that's good.
Okay, and we want to find out where he is. So
Yeah.
rolling an assess. That is a 12.
Hooray.
Perfect.
We've like perched by the shipping container. We can see the semi truck across this parking lot, or like wide open space where the shipping containers get dropped off onto the tracks. We are pretty sure this guy is following us or waiting for us to come out into the open. We throw a bunch of these chatterboxes all over the place, and I'm watching and listening for him to either like see his optics as he moves towards the noise or hear him moving around. And I'm prepared to throw a flash grenade if I have a pretty reasonable idea of where he is.
Sure. So yeah, you round that corner, and unfortunately it makes it harder to hear him with all this noise from the noise bugs, but you do see a crunch as one gets stepped on, and there's a little shower of sparks that kind of lights him up for that brief moment, and you have a good shot. You toss that flashbang.
Cass sees this guy moving through the parking lot, stands up, here's some more sparks, asshole, throws his flashbang, and ducks, blocking his eyes.
Yep. There's a big flash of light and a small bang and some smoke. For a second, this kind of messes with his optical camouflage too, because it's just too bright. And you see him covering his eyes and staggering backwards. You have a clear getaway at this point.
Can we actually see him, though?
You can see him while the flashbang is in effect, at least, but his camouflage will compensate
Oh, man.
soon
I
enough.
kind of want to try to shoot at him, though.
I'm just running for it.
Yeah. I want to kind of shoot at him. No, let's just go for the car. It's the best thing to do.
You get in the car and you start driving full tilt towards the berth. While en route, Olivia, you get a message from Gassy Jack.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be handy.
On what? Her interface is all screwed up, or is that different?
I have
just your phone should be fine.
Yeah,
but you're like...
We still have like Snapchat or whatever.
Yeah. You get a snap from Gassy Jack.
And I'm like, stop sending dick pics.
Oh, my God. But there's important information, so you have to keep looking at it.
Yeah, it's written on there.
It's a ticker tape along the bottom.
Dicker tape.
Dicker tape. Perfect. I love it. That's actually what it's called. It's not called Snapchat. I don't know why I have the app other than to get info.
Just from him.
Yeah, it's the only way he'll talk to you.
Oh, no, I liked Gassy Jack before.
Everybody's got a weird quirk.
It's the future.
Yeah, his is just
These things have become normalized.
Yeah, his is just harassment.
just a quirk. Harassment.
You would ask Gassy Jack for some more info on the actual contents of the package, of the shipment. Luckily, he knows, one of his sparks knows some pirates that operate out of the Salish Sea, and they were able to get a scan of the container ship on its way in.
Ooh.
And the container, from what he could tell, does contain what you expect, which is about 6 crates of cyberware. But there's also something else in those crates. He can't tell exactly what it is, but it is metal, or mixed material, mostly metal, about 3 foot by 4 foot, and it's got a pretty powerful energy source inside of it. There's also a second thing in that crate, which is almost certainly some kind of weapon.
Oh, I guess we just need the whole thing then. Because it all sounds like at least we could sell some of the shit. But the thing is, we're going to have to ditch this so fast.
Might be slightly more risky, but I think I got someone who could buy it.
Okay. I'm going to send him back a black photo, but it also has a ticker tape going across. I'm going to use my contact card here and then ask him if there's a good place to drop off some illegal goods.
Let's wait for that.
Okay.
You guys are actually on your way out.
Once we hopefully survive this.
Yeah, let's start with that.
Yeah, we have to make it to that point.
So let's get in that car and drive away.
In the semi-truck.
You're in the semi-truck. You make it over to the berth. There is
a crane going awry.
Yeah.
They're like 2 cranes fighting.
Two dueling cranes. Smashing each other. It's going to be up to Tis to load the crate on. Yeah. When the truck starts pulling up, you see near the port, we established this before, there are automated defense turrets.
Oh my God.
I thought they faced outside.
There was, actually, majority of them were on the coast.
Yeah.
Some of them are on the
Why did we say this?
And you see it swivel around. It's a little machine gun on the wall near the berths. And you see it honing in on the truck.
Cass is actually going to use his hold card. He pulls a laser pointer off of his, shines it over at the automated defense turret, waving the blazer back and forth over the visual sensors of the auto turret, blinding it.
Is this like
an infrared, like...
Yeah. Is this like a presentation laser pointer or like a military grade laser?
It's a military grade presentation pointer.
So it can still blind the shit out of you.
Dual purpose, though. Yeah.
It's the presidential edition.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing you'd use for painting a target for an airstrike or something.
Yeah.
Is it just the one?
Yeah.
I hope so.
That's why I was wondering.
I think it'll probably be an act under pressure to get that aiming right.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
That's a 4, 5, 6.
Can I assist by having the car move very smoothly?
Easy rider.
I'm so good at backing up in this thing.
Sure. Try it.
What is that going to be?
Well, just your links with him.
A 4.
Okay. Yeah, it means you're complicit in the consequences as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's bad.
Yeah.
Doubly bad.
There's the whine of a machine gun rotating up to speed, and a hail of bullets erupts forward and sprays the side of the truck. The windows are shattered, and both of you take 2 harm.
Sure.
Holy smokes.
And then we have to roll, right?
Yes, and roll the harm with both of you.
I got a 4.
Okay.
Olivia got a 10.
Oof. Oh. 4 is fine. Cass is able to shrug it off. Olivia, not so much. 10 plus, you choose one. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panicked. Take the full harm of the attack before it was reduced by armor, or +1 if you already took full. Lose the use of a piece of cyberware until you can get it repaired. Lose a body part.
Well, I'm going to take another harm.
What does that put you at?
22.
Oh, that's not too bad. Still got 2 blocks to play with.
Yeah.
Is the truck okay?
Yeah, how's your truck doing?
Let's roll for truck.
Let's roll for truck.
It took some damage. You probably can't take another one of those, but it's still in operating order. Let's pop back to Bunk. Unfortunately, Bunk, you're a little in the dark over in the security area here because the comms are down and your guys' cyberware communications are down.
Mm-hmm. I assume everything's going perfectly down there.
Yeah, you're just writing a song right now for
Safe is like, you got to get out of here, man. I don't know. This is going bad. This is going to break bad.
Yeah.
It's already broken bad.
You can see he can see the cameras though, could he not?
Yeah.
There's monitors.
Yeah. So now you see a truck getting shot and a crane waving a crate back and forth.
This makes imagining everything going well for them really hard.
You know these people?
No. No, man. Like I said, I'm microwave, right? Wink, wink, right? When this is all said and done.
Bunk, what is going on?
To put this all into context, we are now like internationally like wanted terrorists, I'm sure.
Not yet.
Yeah,
We're attacking a major port.
Yeah.
There's body count.
We will be, but not yet.
What's going on is I'm going to write you a sick beat and I'll see you later. Peace.
Oh, God.
I have a contact card.
Mm-hmm.
I could call like a security team, like to come in here, like as if they got called to this situation.
Right.
I'm just like leaving and I'm like calling somebody as I'm leaving. And I'm like calling up my buddy who works in a security firm.
Sure. QuickBox has a private security division called the Cavalry, and they're known for getting there as fast as you could possibly need.
Perfect.
As well, they have a vested interest in protection of this area, considering, a lot of their cargo goes through here. So I think that's reasonable.
Yeah. Basically, call up my buddy at the Cavalry and get them to send a squad down to check on things, knowing that it's absolute chaos and they'll just add to that chaos, hopefully.
Okay, sure. You set this into motion, call your buddy at the Cavalry, and moments later, you hear a container heading down one of the rails, and it's coming for the center of the harbor. And within minutes, this security team will be here via the rail itself. So within minutes, this very sleek cargo container rockets down the quick rail right into the center where that turnstile was that meets up with the 4 different rails, and it begins to unfold, and inside you see a heavily armed squad of QuickBox Cavalry private security. One of them fires into the air, adding to the confusion and chaos here. We see Tiss moving the crane, dropping the crate onto the truck. And with a whine of the engine, you start to blast it towards the exit. And we'll see how the rest of them catch up to you and how the rest of that goes in 2 weeks' time. Thanks, everybody, for listening to today's episode. It went just as well as I thought it would. Please give us a review on Apple Podcasts if you're enjoying the show. Tell a friend. Tweet at us. Just stay in touch. Our social media is at The House of Bob. All our other contact information, our Discord servers in the notes. Consider supporting the show on Patreon for early access to episodes, the opportunity to suggest some NPC names, you get some RPG zines, some cool stuff like that. There's at least 20 hours of bonus content like director's commentary and one-shots. Should be getting another director's commentary for House of Annihilation this month. Big thanks to our patrons, Bolt, Luke Conroy, Sylvia Douglas, Mike from the Tales from the Glassguarded World podcast, Kieran Duffy, Jessica, Bluckett12, Robert, Tom Wesley, and of course Ray Kearney. Artwork for this arc was by Shaun at Shaun Makes. Audio production by Alex of Astronomic Audio. Music by John Julius. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution. That's all for this week. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Peace. You know this truck.
I know this.
You know this truck.
Tim.
Hey, Frank.